Good morning, everybody. I wanted to just get on here and make a sort of updated, toward the end of April, Dr. Pearlman video, and just sort of talk about things related to chiropractic and chiropractic health, which really means talking about things that are related to, for most of us, right? For most of us, what it means is, back pain, joint pain, neck pain, arm pain, radicular pain, sciatic pain, and things related. Because that's what most people go to the chiropractor for. It doesn't mean that people, this week didn't benefit from my care in my office and that I didn't benefit from someone else as a patient for my dizziness symptoms. There's a lot of upper respiratory, viral type symptomology going around when it comes to a lot of the picked up wind because of the excess pollen that we suffer from here in Texas. It's a very real thing. What happens is these big winds come in, right? April showers bring May flowers, and you're kind of picking up the back end of winter, which in Texas can go from, 25 degrees, then 72 degrees in the next day. And these major winds and temperature changes produce a lot of pollen, and what happens is they get broken down into what we would call very micro type of fragments, and it becomes kind of tough to deal with and creates upper respiratory infection. And one of the side effects, one of the symptoms of that is dizziness. And, there could be many other reasons why someone would have dizziness or vertigo-like symptoms, but it is definitely something that chiropractic can help. Now, what about why I made this video? You got to understand something. I am now somebody who had a devastating back injury in football when I was about 15 years old, head-on collision, lost the feeling of the right side of my lower half of my body for about 6 to 8 seconds, maybe. Got up, walked it off, went back out there and played, because back in the day, that's what you did. So this is about 1995. No, this is like 97. This is 1997 or 1998. And then I went back out there and played or whatever. And following that up, I started having a lot of back spasms intermittently and was told that I just lifted weights wrong. And then you go years into the future with a really bad back and always thinking that I just had bad mechanics and I had a weak core, because that's just what, traditional people who don't think tell you. I had a terrible CrossFit incident, which I thought was sort of the genesis of having a really bad back, but in actuality, it was probably that initial hit to the head in football and how that created some kind of a compression or burst fracture down in my spine. So the compromised discs is what probably blew out in CrossFit. And I just remember kind of throwing in the towel of the exacerbated flare-ups at the end of 2023 when my back blew out again, bending down to pick something up. So realistically, I gave up on chiropractic in the sense of I wanted more lasting relief in my lower back. And so I got decompressive lumbar surgery, what they call a partial laminectomy with a foraminotomy, where they just basically take a Dremel tool and create space in my lower spine to decompress and give the nerve roots room to breathe. Well, I thought that was a major success because I was able to raise my legs a little bit more and keep it from tethering, but about a year and a half later, I'm back to square one. That's just the short version of it. And what do I feel about that now, and why did that happen? Well, what I feel about it now is someone came into me the other day with TMJ issues, right? So he was having symptoms in his jaws. And, he said, and I quote, "I've tried everything." And I asked him, "Did you try acupuncture?" "No." "Did you try chiropractic before?" And the answer was no. So just briefly there, without speaking ill of this person at all, they haven't tried everything. They've maybe tried a lot of what's on a list according to Google or ChatGPT in terms of, dentistry and massage and, maybe there was other dry needlings, but not acupuncture. I mean, they could have done lots of different modalities and lots of specialists, but he didn't try everything. I adjusted him once, and he came back in 2 days later and said he has never felt so good, and the pain is almost non-existent. I have no doubt that in early good, solid chiropractic adjustment that took pressure off nerves, the nerve roots, especially innervating the trigeminal nerve, gave him symptom relief. But the thing is, he hasn't tried anything until he tried that. How far will we get in terms of what I call stability and, reduction or even elimination of symptoms for his TMJ issues? I don't know. In my experience, I think we could get about 80% of the way there, where he'll feel days of symptoms and mostly have good days, mostly symptom-free. But we will see based on a trial of care and what I call semi-regular chiropractic. Now, what about my back? I'm having a much tougher time now recovering than I did post-surgery, and that might be kind of a misstatement. I'm having a much tougher time recovering now because the uncertainty of having surgery and then having my back go out that bad at the end of February is really bothering my back and having a tougher time recovering. So now I've even limited my exercises even more than I was, really pushing the envelope post-surgery. When I say post-surgery, guys, I waited about 8 to 10 months before I really started to train to like my capacity, which my capacity of training is full-on deadlifts, squat cleans, squats, running, sprints, box jumps, muscle ups, pull-ups, you name it. Like, honestly, there's very little other than outright like Romanian deadlifts or bent over full flexion style rows that I, should be able to do. And I wasn't necessarily even doing all of it, but I was doing enough to challenge my back. Remember, that's how you get strong. Progressive motion, weight bearing, active progressive motion is how you get a joint rehabbed, right? Weight bearing, full ranges of motion is how you can become stable. And it just, pretty much hasn't happened, and not even close to has happened yet. And my rationale and my logic, to the reason why this has happened, as someone who has a lot of experience in the field, is scar tissue. I think that there is enough damage that has been done in and around my spine, along with the fact that the discs are still compromised and fully there at my L4, L5, L5, S1, that it's just not going to be something feasible until I've either done a disc replacement and pray, or I've done a fusion, which I don't want to do. So, you see, when I say I didn't try everything, I hadn't tried the type of chiropractic and the type of rehab that I'm going to do now prior to having surgery. It's as simple as, I'm using the analogy of the TMJ patient to me, who really was like, I'm comfortable with the type of chiropractic care that I'm getting because I'm used to it and I believe in it, and I'm comfortable with the type of exercises that I'm doing. But in reality, I hadn't done everything, and I probably hadn't done what was right. Maybe not what was right, but the extreme that was needed. A guy I used to go to school with, he used to explain gonstead as like a high risk, high reward, and I felt like that wasn't right. Now I understand high risk, high reward in the sense of like a much more extreme style of an adjustment that really relieves pressure down in your spine, but it may leave you uncertain and unstable because you're not used to having that much ranges of motion, and the feeling and the pressure that's not there gives the lower back a whole different meaning of like stability or even like instability. So that's the end of my rant for today. I just wanted to come up here and make a video while I'm running errands. I'll be in briefly Saturday morning to do some adjustments, but I also have a lot of continued education that I have to do and pay attention on the webinars. And then Tuesday, Thursday, we'll be rolling next week. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. And the purpose of this video, in conclusion, if you made it to the end, is don't say you've tried everything until you've tried everything. And understand that surgery is not a guarantee, okay? No matter what it is. Sometimes it is absolutely inevitable. I thought that my only choice left for my back issues a year and a half back, maybe 2 years ago now, what do I know, was surgery. It wasn't. I shouldn't have done it. I created too much scar tissue, too much trauma. The recovery was very brutal for me. And a lot of my already learned fear avoidant behavior, now that I've had an exacerbated condition, has really has really set me back. And I am finding my way, I'm navigating my way around how to take care of that. And I will tell you the silver lining and what's good, better me than you, that's come out of it is it has actually made me, again, a better chiropractor, because of what I said in the beginning of the video. People come to me because of neck pain and back pain, and I accept that role. I don't try to change their thinking, okay? Other chiropractors, I don't try to tell someone, oh, you're here because you think you're here because you're in pain, but you're here because of some other thing. Obviously, we want to get back to our lives. Obviously, we want to work out. Obviously, we want to be with our kids. Obviously, we want to do our hobbies. Obviously, we don't have to want to think about our back going out. But they're with us because they are in pain and they are being kept from doing these things, and they need our help. And my situation has made me a better chiropractor, which has only made me more passionate for chiropractic. And if you're in pain and you need my help, that is what I'm here for. If you're having weird symptoms and you're not getting the answers from these other doctors that want to refer you to psychologists and shoot you up with all sorts of steroid shots that aren't working, you just call me and we will work with you and figure out the best way to get you feeling the best you can as fast as you can. All right, so that's my video, raw, unedited video with Dr. Pearlman on a Friday morning at the end of April. And until next time, take care.